Carolyn Dube here, and welcome to March's colorful jelly print party. Now, as you're looking at this picture, you're probably thinking, that's not a jelly print. No, it is this awesome hat that Dawn made and shared over in the Google Plus community called A Colorful Playground. And this is where I got my inspiration for this month's jelly party. One of the things that I really love about seeing all sorts of different creative play is that it can really inspire me. Well, this hat keeps me thinking about circles and circles of color, so I'm going to use the jelly plate to do that. I am using one of the Catalyst mini blades there, and what I'm doing is just smearing the paint on to the jelly plate. Lots of paint, plenty of paint, yep, and that's my fancy way of cleaning the tool is I just sort of wipe it off. Putting layers and rings of color on here. And as I'm doing this, some of the colors may bump into each other or they might not. You know what? It's not going to matter. Because what my goal here is to get rings of color going round and round. And the funniest thing happened when I did the blue in the middle. It totally looks like there's a face in it to me. Did not plan it, but it's just sort of this weird, strange little face in there. Anyway, on to the next step. So I've got all that juicy paint and I want to get the texture of the yarn or the knitting in that from the hat. So for that I brought in a piece of burlap. And once I put the burlap on there, I then put another piece of cards or a piece of cardstock on top of it. And that's actually going to give me a bonus print. All I'm doing right now is squishing and pushing to get the paint and the burlap to work together. With this, you saw a clean piece of burlap being used, but one piece of burlap can be used over and over and over again. So here's the print that I get just from mushing the burlap into it. So now I'm going to lift up that burlap. So now I've got color and pattern onto the burlap, which frankly is actually really hard to paint on, so it's a great way to get color on burlap. And then I'm just going to start putting on pieces of cardstock. And the stuff I'm using today is cheapo office supply store kind of cardstock. I'll have a link to it over on the blog if that helps you out. And once I feel like I've got some good adhesion there, I'm going to lift it up and get my first print. And you can see how much of that texture of the burlap is captured in there. And it's not always the first print that I love the most. Sometimes it's a second or third. Well, I'm going to take that first print that I did when I was pressing down the burlap, and I'm going to use that for the second print. So basically adding more layers to this. So making sure I've got really good adhesion there, and I'm going to lift it up, and there is print number 2. Well, there's still paint on there, so I'm going to pull a third print off of that and see what I get. I may get something, I may get nothing. We'll see what the jelly plate gives me when I lift this up. When I get to the end, I really do try and rub the paper more just to try and pick up every shot of paint that I can. And sure enough, there was more there. Love, and a hair, an extra little bonus there. Well, thanks for joining me for March's colorful jelly print party. I'd love to see what you're making with the jelly plate, and I know other people would too. The party is now hosted over on Google Plus in the community called A Colorful Playground, a wonderful place for people to share, upload photos, to get encouragement, to be inspired, and to inspire others. If you've never played over in Google Plus, not a problem. We are all figuring out as we go. When you head over to the link that'll be down below to get to the community, all you do is click Join Community and then jump on in and start playing. I also have a video giving you a walkthrough of how the community works for those people that are new to Google+. See you over at A Colorful Playground.